Meeting of the East Greenbush Town Board is called to order. Please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America,
and to the republic
which stands
one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty,
liberty
and
and
justice.
justice. Yeah.
Hey,
I think so, yeah. But I don't know if I'm-
Supervisor Conway,
present.
Counselor Tierney,
Present.
Counselor Kennedy,
Present.
Counselor Matters,
Present.
Counselor Fritz.
Is anything happening?
Is Bridget here?
She was, I don't see her anymore.
Meg, she's not in the waiting room, is she?
No,
Well, we'll.
She was here.
she was. I'll come back.
Yeah, we'll come back to Bridget. She'll be here.
Okay.
Well, so we have a very special night. We have a massive agenda, but before we get to that, we're going to start with a presentation on the East Greenbush Central School District 2021-22 budget. And we're very fortunate to have Superintendent Jeff Simons and Wayne Pratt and Mike Walnos here and Joanne Taylor. Who am I missing? Linda is here. And before you start, Jeff, I think I speak for the whole board here. Thank you for the work you've done in the last 14 or 15 months. The school district has performed just perfectly. And I've told you this before, Jeff. Every time people say to me, it must be tough managing a town government during a pandemic, I always say, I got it much easier than Jeff Simons has it. So if that's any consolation to you, but in all seriousness and from the bottom of my heart, you guys deserve so much credit for the way you've done this. And these have been impossible times, especially for you. So with that, Jeff, why don't you take over and
Thank you.
do what you want to do.
Thank you very much, Jack. I do appreciate your comments. I really do want to just kind of highlight that we kind of do the same thing. We're providing services to the community. And during this pandemic, going all the way back to last March, Jack and I have had a number of conversations about, making sure that we continue to serve the community as best that we can. And we keep the lines of communication open between the town and our school district. We've been very fortunate over the last few years to develop a really solid partnership with the town of East Greenbush. Those partnerships include working directly with the town board, but also we have done a lot of activities together with the Department of Parks and Recreation, as well as with the East Greenbush Police Force with our resource officer program, but also a number of initiatives on school safety, which we'll highlight a little bit this evening as part of the budget. So I'm grateful to be here. I'm grateful that Mike Buno is our board president. He has joined us along with Joanne Taylor, who has been with our Board of Education for a number of terms. And Linda Wager, I think you know Linda, but Linda has succeeded Larry Edson, and she is running the business office right now and doing a super job as Director of Business and Finance. She's not new to the district. She's been with our district, I think, 19 years as the treasurer. So she stepped right in and has done a super job helping me and the board put together the budget. So without further ado, I'll move to the formal presentation. I'm going to ask Megan or someone to help me make sure that I can share my screen. I think I can.
You should be all set. I don't think it's blocked.
Very good. If I get this right. I've been practicing a lot. Can you see my screen?
Looks good.
Very good. Okay, that's a good sign. Let me go back to the beginning of the presentation, and here we go. So thank you for the opportunity to present the school district's proposed budget. We have experienced a lot of shifts and changes over the course of this year as we've tried to continue to offer excellence in educational services to our community during very difficult time. The constraints of operating our schools within the pandemic have in some ways constrained us, but also provided us opportunities to advance the district with our application of computer technology to instruction, to learn things that we didn't know we could do as a school district. And our budget reflects really where we're at as a school district this year, but also we always come back to the board goals. No matter what is occurring in our district and in our community, these board goals that have been developed collaboratively between our Board of Education and our administration really provide the anchor to make sure that we are continuing to emphasize our values. Those include academic excellence. We want to continue to be a high-performing district. We are one of the highest ranked school districts in the capital region in terms of our graduation rate, and our performance at all levels is above the state average. Additionally, we have schools like Columbia High School and Red Mill School that have received statewide recognition as reward schools, schools that are closing the gap in achievement between all students and students who may come to our classrooms with some level of disadvantage. Additionally, we try to balance our educational goals with making sure that we have the right people in terms of our hiring process to provide services to our students and align our fiscal resources through a strategic planning process that we've had in place with our board for a number of years. Partnerships and positive relationships with the community, those have served us very well, particularly during this time period. We value the relationships and the communication we have with our families. We value our partnerships with organizations such as the town of East Greenbush. We've developed a business advisory group where we have businesses consulting with the district's teachers to help us learn about opportunities for students in the economy and career fields that are opening up right here in the capital region, what we can do to better prepare kids for those careers. We emphasize progressive, innovative education in a safe and inviting environment. And we have had for a number of years a district safety committee, and your own Tina Tierney is on that committee, and she has helped us not only as a parent and a town board member, but she has consulted with us to help us to be able to implement a school climate survey this year, which indicated that our parents, our students, and our employees really rate the district pretty high in terms of being a safe, inviting, and welcoming environment for all children and families. We are in good standing, according to the New York State Education Department, on all standardized measures. That includes the grade 3 through 8 English language arts math tests, as well as our graduation rate and Regents performance. Additionally, we've had some special recognitions this year of our staff. It's not easy to be named a New York State Teacher of the Year finalist, but Chelsea Dyer, who is a Columbia High School English teacher, was named in the top 2. And that included the submission of essays, reflections on the work that she does in the classroom. The State Education Department honored Chelsea, and so did our board earlier this year. We've also been featured for our use of technology during this program year of offering a hybrid model. Kelly Giagni, who is a teacher at Jeannie, was featured in the New York State School Board's publication On Board for the work we're doing to continue to connect kids to learning through virtual instruction. Additionally, in the area of positive relationships, we know that the community has been impacted by COVID-19. We know that we serve a number of families who, through no fault of their own, have needs. Every single school that we have, and Joanne Taylor, our board member, has been a big part of this initiative. We have backpack programs that continue to provide food, clothing, if necessary, supplies that our families need to make sure that all of our kids are taken care of. We operated since March of last year a large distribution program out of Columbia High School, and that program was chaired by Mike Leonard, our athletic director, and our social workers to make sure that everyone has what they need. Additionally, we want to be progressive, we want to be innovative, and we want to make sure that not only in terms of our physical safety, our infrastructure, our security systems, our programs that we have to make sure that we can evacuate buildings if necessary quickly and safely, our lockdown drills and all those things that we do as part of our safety plan. Those are important, but we're working very hard to make sure that we maintain an inviting, healthy, community that celebrates diversity and values the contributions that all of our children and our families make. We've started two important initiatives, both at the middle school and high school, called No Place for Hate. And we work with a group of students, teachers, and support staff, and our resource officers have been involved in that effort to make sure that we have programs that emphasize how we treat one another with respect and how we value the differences that children and families bring to our schools. As we shift into talking about the budget plan for next year, while we do not have clarity as of this point regarding what the guidelines will be for reopening school in September, we are planning to ensure that we have the resources for a full school reopening K through 12. And we hope every day that the regulations will permit us to do that. We're bringing back all of our elementary students effective Monday. We will have K through 5 in full time for in-person learning, and we continue to look at our middle school. But we hope that in September, we will be able to normalize to some degree and have all of our kids in. Our budget prioritizes student needs and anticipates that some students will be impacted not only academically, but there are mental health concerns and emotional behavioral supports that will be necessary for our children as we transition out of the impact of COVID-19. But we want to deploy the resources that we have as efficiently and effectively as we can. And as we review some of the additional monies that we've received from the state and our federal government, which we'll talk about in just a little while, we want to make sure that we preserve long-range fiscal stability. Our district enjoys one of the best credit ratings that a school district can receive. That enables us to save taxpayers money because our principal and interest payments on borrowing is very, very low. We are rated by the New York State Comptroller's Office as a district that is in good fiscal shape, and we want to maintain that, even though we know our students will have additional needs. Within our budget, we have prioritized academic support. We are proposing within our budget additional teachers to provide what's called academic intervention services. Those are extra reading and math services to help students catch up. We will have 2.5 additional positions at the elementary school level, 1 additional position in reading at the middle school level, and a part-time math position. Additionally, the community is experiencing a growth in the number of families that are moving from outside the country to East Greenbush. We have more than 70 students now whose primary language is not English, and we have had to hire and increase the number of English as a new language teachers that we have serving our kids. That program is housed at the elementary level at Jeannie Elementary School, at the middle school at Goff Middle School, and at Columbia High School. Additionally, as we anticipate some of our high school kids needing to catch up on credits, we have a computer-based program called Apex that enables students to recover credits for courses that they need to earn enough credits to graduate. And we're developing a summer learning program, which we hope students will participate in as we anticipate trying to close the gap before September. In the areas of curriculum instruction, the district has been working very purposefully in professional development, looking at the New York State learning standards. We have been developing English language arts and math curriculum maps so that regardless of what school students attend, they're learning the same skills and concepts. As part of that effort, the district is adopting an upgrade to its K through 8 math program. And we work very closely with Questar BOCES to provide staff development support to make sure that our teachers are current in their instructional techniques. In the area of technology, we continue to advance the district. We have some replacement needs, and we also have service contracts related to new phone, public address systems, and security systems that we put in a few years ago as part of our capital project that the community supported. In the area of athletics, we're branching out. We've had more girls sign up for varsity girls golf. In years past, we've had the same coach coaching the girls and the boys, and they've been participating in different tournaments, but we feel that there's a need now as the program is developing for a separate coach. Additionally, you know this as a town, We have to plow the parking lots. We have to make sure that we are in good shape in terms of our schools. And we have the need to replace a Ford pickup truck that we use for plowing and salting. Additionally, we are scheduled to have another round by the state of a building condition survey. That's the requirement to look at all of our facilities to make sure that we replace aging roofs, issues with some of the mechanical and electrical issues within our schools, and we continue to follow that process through working with the BRAC committee that Mr. Pratt chairs and our architect. And we're updating our transportation system to make sure that we can continue to track our buses even when the power is out, because we learned this year that the current system that we had didn't work on those days in October when we had the power outage. So what have we done to help the community save money? We did an administrative reorganization when Mr. Etzen retired as an assistant superintendent and Michelle Bowman retired as an assistant superintendent. We took a fine look at the job descriptions and the duties. We reassigned some of the duties. I have absorbed more duties into my direct role as the superintendent. Mr. McHugh, our assistant superintendent for curriculum, has taken on duties in the areas of professional development and to some degree technology. And we have replaced those positions with civil service positions entitled as a director of business and finance and a director of human resources at lower salaries. Additionally, we are using Questar to make sure that we are eligible for the aid that the state provides for certain special education services, and that process has yielded more revenue into our budget for next year. We replaced aging classroom printers with multifunctioning printers that provide efficiencies, but also reduce waste and our cost per copy. We've conducted an insurance review to make sure that we are not paying too much for insurance, but that we are carrying the right levels of insurance. And every year since Utica National Insurance has offered an Excellence in Safety Award, our district has received that. And that safety rating has enabled us to have low premiums for our insurance policies. So as we approach the budget for next year, taking under consideration state aid and the local tax levy, back in March, on March 10th, when we first presented our budget to the board, we were looking at revenues that projected at about 102.4 million. That includes an increase that we talked about on March 24th in the aid that we get back for certain special education services. We received our state budget numbers and presented those to the board. We are very pleased to share with you that we received a 6% increase in foundation aid from the state and a total aid increase of $1.188 million. We are using that money to maintain programs to address learning gaps. And we had proposed a 1.28% increase to the tax levy, but because of the additional state aid, we're able to offer the community a 0% tax increase for next year. So the amount of money that we raise in the tax levy this year will be the same amount of money that we raise next year with a 0% tax increase. We feel that's necessary. We got additional aid, and we recognize that the community has been impacted by COVID-19, and we want to make sure that we are aware of that and responsive to that concern. Within the budget, we added a summer learning program. We will have likely federal monies to be able to offset some of those expenses, and we are upgrading our information system so that parents can register their children for school online. Currently, we don't offer that. Busy families have to come to the high school. They have to check in. They have to walk to the special education office and register their children. We can upgrade our system to enable our families to register from home. Additionally, we have reduced the budget where we can. We have continued to reduce expenditures in the areas of professional development. We made adjustments to our salaries based on retirements of about $390,000. We reduced equipment. We made adjustments to salary lines within the superintendents in the central office. And we made an adjustment of $134,000 reduction in our insurance for both liability and disability. So as we have received more aid, we have also looked at the expense side of the budget and made reductions where we could. So the final state aid report that we received again indicated 1.8 million additional dollars. The majority of that increase is in foundation aid, $1 million increase in foundation aid. You may recall that every year during this presentation, we have said East Greenbush is not getting its fair share of aid. We have said that we were one of the districts that received the lowest percentage increases in state aid. We are also one of the districts that historically has been underfunded. We've heard about the foundation aid formula. The legislature and the governor have agreed to bring those districts up to what we should be receiving in foundation aid over the next 3 years. We hope that that trend continues, but we think we're on a good path with state aid. Additionally, outside the general fund budget, we are receiving federal funds, which we have not determined how to spend at this point. We can't take these monies and plug them into the general fund budget. We are not permitted to do this by law. These are funds that have been provided directly to schools to be utilized for the purposes of addressing the impact of COVID-19, to help address learning gaps in academic achievement, to provide mental health services to students and families who may need those services, and to offset the impact of COVID-19 on school district resources. We are waiting for more guidance regarding how these monies will be spent. We're receiving the combination of what's called the CARES Act and the American Rescue Plan funds, $7 million. We have to utilize those monies by September 2023 and September 2024, and we want to be careful because we don't want to incur, and I think the town board always has similar considerations, we don't want to hire a bunch of people, incur recurring expenses. We want to make sure that we use these monies strategically over the next 2 to 3 years to help kids and plan for the future. So we're just beginning to have a conversation about how these federal monies might help us. Looking at trends, this graph is interesting to take a look at. Over the course of the last 5 years, you see the blue line represents the increases to our budget. Generally, our budget is 80% people. It's the salaries and benefits associated with providing services to the kids. The budget is scheduled to go up next year, 3.77%. But the red line represents the district's budget impact on the tax levy each year. And as you can see, last year we had a 1.5% tax levy increase, and next year we are proposing a 0% tax increase. The green line represents what has happened with state aid, and you can see that the state aid has gone up 6%. So it only makes sense that now that we are trending this positively on state aid, that we keep our taxes as low as we can. Additionally, we are proposing to use a reserve that the district and the community has supported in years past to set aside monies for the purchase of busing. We replace our buses on a replacement schedule, looking at the safety, the age, and the mileage of our buses. These monies will be drawn out of the reserve for 8 buses at $757,000. We receive back monies in transportation aid that go right back into the reserve to purchase future buses. And this is something that has enabled the district not to have to borrow money for the purchasing of busing. So May 18th will be the vote. It will be traditional voting in person. The state has made a change to the law that absentee ballots will still be available through an application. One of the factors that has been added for eligibility for an absentee ballot is COVID-related concerns. So that is available for anybody who may want to vote via absentee ballot. But generally, we will operate in-person voting as we have done prior to last spring. Additionally, if the budget passes, we will continue to plan for next year. We also have the option, if the budget doesn't pass, to resubmit to the community a budget for a second vote. We're hoping that because we are maintaining programs and services, we are actually adding where we can to help kids. And we are keeping the tax levy at 0. We're hoping that we'll have positive support for our school district budget. The vote on May 18th includes the budget, the purchase of the buses through the reserve, and we have the election of 4 board members. We have 3 incumbents, and we will likely have a new candidate for the board, as Mrs. Massey has informed us that she will not be running for the board again. So vote on the budget, voting on the reserve use for the buses purchasing, and the board election. So at this point, we'll take any questions or comments or concerns that you might have. We tried to move rather quickly because we know you have all those items on your agenda, and I thank you for your time.
Well, Jeff, first off, thank you. I'm going to go out on a limb here. This budget's going to pass.
I appreciate that.
But you know, so many of the issues are similar to what we dealt with. And last year, when we did our budget, we said it has to be a 0% tax increase. Some people are hurting. You know, people need money for things that they didn't need money for before. And I think it's a really responsible budget by the district. I like the look of it myself. So any other board members want to ask questions or make statements?
Yeah, I just thought I'd throw out a couple comments, actually. You know, congratulations, Superintendent Simons, for really rolling out, you know, a budget that, quite honestly, the tenor of which I think kind of mirrors Supervisor Conway's budgeting approach, as he just intimated, you know, for this fiscal year, certainly with the COVID challenges. You know, you mentioned, you know, some various accounts that are sort of, you know, what I call lockbox, you know, the Al Gore lockbox principle, which, you know, we try to sort of embrace with GEIS funds. And I think the more you have that sort of a funding approach, you know, to the extent that it's practicable, and not in every instance it is, but, you know, I think you end up securing, you know, yourself fiscally throughohout the year, and for future years as well. So that's all very, I think, very, very positive. And you know, just as an aside, it's nothing, you know, fiscal related, but I just want to kind of congratulate you and the school district, your deputies, you know, your various principal staff, and all of the teachers and all of the people who work for the school district, you know, regarding something that's very near and dear to my heart, and that's, you know, the anti-bullying program that, you know, is something that I know the school district has bolstered over the years. And, you know, this year, this particular month, you know, we have this is Child Abuse Prevention Month in East Greenbush, and Councilor Tierney is going to be moving that resolution. And, you know, those two are kind of related to me, you know, in terms of, you know, how kids need to be protected and looked after. And, you know, they're very, very sensitive issues. It's an affront, you know, really to humanity that children would ever be, you know, victimized in that way. But the fact that the school district is sort of on the front lines in shepherding, you know, that sort of you know, attitude toward our children is so important. So I want to thank you and the school district for you know, being steadfast, you know, to that kind of a concern. So those are my comments. Thank you very much, Mr. Supervisor.
Thank you, Mr. Matters. I appreciate that very much.
I'll just be really quick and just say thank you for this responsive and reflective budget that's mindful of the current circumstances of our residents, and appreciate that. And, you know, add to the accolades of what you've done. I was in a meeting today where someone described it as agility. So I thought that was really a really perfect description of what you've had to do this year. And I do thank you. I you know, wish you had put some of those slides in from the climate survey results, because they were phenomenal. I mean, we see survey results from around the state and have for the past several years, and East Greenbush did good. So Thanks for all of this.
Well, we have several more presentations, so we'll take your suggestion and we'll incorporate that in there. Yeah, very good. Thank you, Gina.
Okay, anyone else?
I'd just like to also thank Mr. Simons for your presentation. I thought that I can tell that a lot of thought has gone into it. And I'm sure that everyone who lives in our town will be appreciative of the result and the outcome. So thank you so much for that. And also, I just like to share with you that during the pandemic, a lot of families and parents that I've spoken with have been also very appreciative and very complimentary in terms of how you've handled and provided, educational services to our children during the pandemic. So thank you and congratulations.
Thank you very much, Mrs. Kennedy. I appreciate that.
And Bridget, are you with us? Okay, Bridget, you're muted if you're speaking. Okay.
Was she able to call in?
Yeah. Yeah.
I thought she was calling in.
She's
Right.
here in person and I think maybe on the phone also.
All right. All right. Well, then we'll move along. Just as a concluding statement, though, to Mike and Joanne and the board members, it's an incredible community service to sit on the school board. It's an awful lot of work for little, certainly tangible reward. And sometimes it's thankless. People don't see what you do or how much you put into it. So I really want to recognize that and you guys. And Wayne, congratulations on making the Hall of Fame. Those of you who know Wayne Pratt, he's been inducted into the Columbia High School Hall of Fame and very well deserved.
Yeah, thank you, Jeff.
You're very welcome. So, and Jeff and Linda, let me just say this to Linda. You got thrown into hot water here. Okay, in your first year, you're going to have the equivalent of probably 5 years of experience in that job. So I hope you like challenges. I hope you've been enjoying it. And Jeff, thank you so much. You guys, the great budget. You guys do a great job, and we can't thank you enough.
Thank you all very much. I appreciate the time and good luck with your agenda tonight. And we'll continue to work together to strengthen our partnership. Thank you and have a good evening.
That's a deal, Jeff. Thank you.
Very good. Thank you.
Okay, so what we're going to do is now we're going to go into kind of our regular format. And we'll start with comments from the counselors. Counselor Tierney?
I'm not going to make any at this time other than, that was a great presentation. And it's great to have the partnership strengthened. I guess I'll make one more comment. Great job, DPW. The town looks beautiful. All those leaf bag pickups, everything looks fantastic. So thanks for that hard work.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Counselor Kennedy?
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. I do have a few comments. First, I'd like to just welcome our recent appointments for camp directors and assistant camp directors, Mike Iula, his brother Nick, Caitlyn Lallier, and Cameron McHale. I know we have a resolution to pass tonight to appoint their positions. So I'd just like to welcome them. I know some of them are on our call right now. Recruitment continues for camp counselors for summer camp. It should be closing soon and interviews will be scheduled in the near future. Also, tomorrow is Earth Day, and I'd like to encourage everyone to visit our parks and visit the Albany Hudson Electric Trail and in general, enjoy the earth. Also, I'd just like to remind people that this weekend at Town Hall, we have on Saturday a document shredding day from 9 to 12. Up to 3 boxes our residents can bring and will be accepted. And also it's National Drug Take Back Day. So our police department is offering a drug take back this from 10 to 2, I believe, in the lower parking lot. And it's a really important event. I hope we can support it because it does help in the prevention of drug addiction and overdose fatalities in our community. So those 2 events are taking place on Saturday. And also our library, community library news. March was a really busy month. 5,882 people visited the library in March with checkouts inside and through the drive-through. The capacity of 20 people does continue inside for 30 minutes. And the youth department did a survey within our town. And the result is that people, I guess, are still very supportive of maintaining the drive-through for pickups and returns, but a lot more people are coming into the circulation desk at this time to take advantage of returning and getting books out there. They are also looking into providing an outdoor summer program for this coming summer for some of their programs with protocols in place. And I think that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you. Counselor Matters?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Supervisor. Welcome to all my colleagues tonight and to everyone else who's joining in. Yeah, I hope everyone is, looking forward to some healthy days, to come this summer and secure days as people, look to kind of return to the state of normalcy. And I understand we're very likely going to have some sort of a facsimile of a Memorial Day celebration this year, which, it's kind of a midway, between, what ended up being total cancellation last year and returning to full normal conditions. So that's very positive, a lot to look forward to, and hopefully by the end of the summer, we'll be in even better position. So that's all for tonight. Thank you.
Okay, Counselor Fritz. Hi, Bridget.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do it on my phone.
I hear you. We see you.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do it on my phone.
I hear you. We see you.
Okay, I'm gonna have to do it on my.
Bridget, are you with us? We're not hearing you.
I'm trying to get just one muted and one not.
You sound good there.
Yeah.
You sound good there. You sound good. So
Okay.
Opening comment.
Opening comment. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. Technical difficulties. I just want to say thank you for putting up with me tonight. And I'll add comments later.
Okay. Okay, first, I want to start with a question. Chief, does Josh have the dog?
He will be arriving shortly there, and first thing in the morning, they have him and two other new canine officers will be doing a couple-hour meet and greet with the master canine instructor, and then they will be bringing the dogs out to meet the three canine handlers and see who bonds with who. So by tomorrow night, we will have a new dog back in East Greenbush.
We'll have a new town employee.
We will. So he's very excited. Everything's going smoothly. I just texted with him a little while ago, so he's getting more excited as time goes on. So
I can only imagine.
Yeah.
He must be like a kid before Christmas.
He is very much. He hopes to come by Friday during the day. He just needs to get some instruction from the master handler what he can do. He said maybe outside so everybody can come out and just not touch but see our newest unnamed member.
Yeah, that. So, but that I just wanted to bring that up. That's great news.
He's very excited. Thank you.
Yeah, and it's a great addition to what we do here.
Absolutely.
And what the police are. I do want to also add, as Holly said, that we're going to do a Memorial Day parade. It's going to be a vehicles only parade, and we're working out the details, and we'll announce them when we have them. but it'll be fun that we can actually do that. And I want to also recognize Eric Blosteen, who did his Eagle Scout project at the dog park in the town park. And what we're hoping is that if we can have one of our May meetings in person, that we'll do a proclamation and honor him. Didn't want to do it on Zoom, want to do it in person. But we now have a dog park that has multiple sections, one for small dogs and one for big dogs. And then the last thing I have is what do the members, how do you feel about coming back into the building? Because I'm ready. Well, you know, we can set it up the way we did. I'm ready, but I don't want to do it until all 5 of us agree that we're ready to do it. So how do you guys feel?
Well, I feel comfortable with coming back. You know, we've already had this social distancing in place where we were positioned when we were meeting in person.
Right,
so.
and we would do that. We would still do that.
Right.
And we'd have a screener at the door.
Correct.
Rick, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Holly. I think that, you've been very, very vigilant about maintaining, the appropriate securities within, throughout, whether it's town hall or garage or wherever. So I think it appears that we've, really, I think, turned a corner, if I could be so bold in saying that, and together with, past practices being as good as they've been, it would seem that, if you were to schedule that kind of a reopening, I think that would be something that everyone would look forward to.
Okay, Tina?
Sure, I'm going to violate my own HIPAA and tell you that I am fully vaccinated and will be 2 weeks past fully vaccination on the weekend. So I have no medical conditions that prevent me from doing that. But I think we should be mindful of the fact that there might be some employees or members of the community that might have those concerns. So if we could look into having some type of a virtual connection for people who maybe aren't as comfortable coming in person, that would be great.
Okay.
Good
Got
idea.
that, Meg?
We have the town hall streams in both community room and the courtroom. And then we could look at how we could connect. It might be hard to do both, but we could try and figure out a way.
Yeah, if we could just find a way that if people who wanted to make public comments who were not comfortable coming in, or employees maybe that, for whatever reason, it's up to their personal privacy to make that decision. But if we could offer that as an option, if we're going to be in person, I think that would be helpful.
Okay. Bridget?
Yes, I am definitely ready to come back in. I'm done with my computer here.
Okay, so that's what we're going to do is we're going to come back in May. I told the chairs of the planning and zoning boards that when they and their members are ready, they can come back in the building. The plan on nights when we have pre-board and the planning board has a meeting, they'll probably use the red barn just so town hall doesn't get too crowded. But town hall is open now and people are coming in. And the most fun part of people coming in is they are very impressed by the way the place looks. And that's really cool. So Danny, that's Danny all the way. But town hall just looks fantastic. And we need to take advantage of it. Right, Dan?
Absolutely.
And we
need
also
to
have
show
to
it
get,
off when we can.
yeah. And we have to get the ladies to the ladies' bathroom this year. Yeah.
The ladies' bathroom, the awning, I have a list.
Okay. It's never enough. But that's good stuff. Town hall is open. So with that, we'll go to public comment. Limit of 5 minutes. Keep it civil, no name calling. Would anyone like to speak? David?
Good evening, everybody. I got one comment about Mr. Simons.
have been a follower of the East Greenbush School District activities since 2002. So my son graduated from high school there. I will say that in 2002 and before that, East Greenbush was a very excellent school district. That's one of the reasons why we moved to this area here. My oldest son is like I said, is a graduate of Columbia High School, and he went on to RPI, graduated summa cum laude from RPI in aeronautical aerospace engineering. He's now lieutenant colonel in the United States Air Force, and he has 2 master's degrees underneath his belt, courtesy of the Air Force. So prior to 2002, along with some of his other friends, that was a very good school.
Still
And
is.
given the fact that there's a lot of changes in education these days, that I come taking a more of an active interest in lately. My wife was an educator. She retired as an elementary school district after 30-some odd years of service. The other comment I have is I thank you, Supervisor Conway, for replying to my email. I hope all the other board members had a chance to read my email and some of my concerns. One of the reasons why I've raised those questions is that my concern is there's a revenue issue with the town of East Greenbush. There's a debt issue with town of East Greenbush. And we are constantly bombarded with people trying to have their tax assessment reduced or become an IDA property, so forth and so on. What concerned me is one of the last board meeting, I believe it was last year, when I raised the same question. There was a discussion with the supervisor that possibly the assessments are going to be raised or looked into this year or very shortly. And I hope it doesn't come to a lot of people's surprise when their assessed valuations are rise to an effect where it's going to impact them financially significantly. The other one is there's a resolution to appoint someone to the Board of Assessors Board.
Yep.
Her name is Caitlyn Culberson.
Yes.
That name sounds familiar. Isn't there a Tyler Culberson has a lot of business before the town of East Greenbush?
Yes.
Okay. Is there any perception of that person having a conflict of interest?
Apparently so. I mean, it's a fair point. The board's discussed it. The appointment will be moved as a resolution. We're going to vote on it. We'll see what happens.
Okay. And that's another thing that I was discussed in my email, as you all read, that some of the entities in the town of East Greenbush, and I know you disagree with me, that they are involved with the town of East Greenbush policies to some extent, but they also have business interest in East Greenbush. They also have other issues between East Greenbush and themselves. And as a outsider, the resident of East Greenbush, it looks like there might be a conflict of interest. So just keep that in mind when all these appointments are made, that there's a perception out there. I might not be the only one. I might be the only outspoken one, but just keep in mind it might be out there as well, other than myself.
Okay.
That's all I have to say tonight. Thank you.
Okay. Thanks, Dave. Anyone else?
I have one more comment to the police chief. Did you mention the fact that there's going to be 3 officers possibly being dog handlers, or they just pick one of 3?
That was not just from our police department, is just Officer Wicko. The other 2 are coming from other agencies, and they're all just going through the same course together.
Okay, because it sounded like for a minute there that there's going to be 3 officers and the dog's going to pick one of the 3 officers. I said that would be kind of
Oh, that would be interesting.
Oh, they'd pick Josh anyway.
And I hope you have some art on your website of the new pup.
We certainly will. We certainly will. Thank you. Thank you for your support as always.
No problem.
Okay, hearing no one else, with that, we'll go to War and Peace, or as it's formally known, tonight's agenda. So let's get going.
Okay, resolution 82 of 2021 approves the meeting minutes for the special meeting held on February 25th of 2021. Move the adoption of this resolution. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes,
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Resolution 83 of 2021 approves the meeting minutes of the regular town board meeting held on March 17th, 2021. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes,
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes. Resolution 84 of 2021, a resolution proclaiming the week of May 10th to May 14th, 2021, Police Week in East Greenbush. Whereas in 1962, in recognition of the role that American police officers perform in maintaining domestic tranquility, President John F. Kennedy proclaimed the week of May 15th to be observed as National Police Week. And whereas in immediate support of this proclamation in a joint resolution of Congress, National Police Week was designated to pay special recognition to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty for the safety and protection of others. And whereas in 1974, New York State Police Trooper Emerson J. Dillon Jr. was slain in the line of duty in the village of Canastota, which would prompt our state legislature to designate Police Week in New York and would lead to the establishment of the Police Memorial, now located at the Empire State Plaza, engraved with the names of fallen officers. And whereas this town board appreciates how employees and residents alike have recognized Police Week locally by contacting town police officers and offering thanks and encouragement to them. Whereas this board joins with the townspeople of East Greenbush in support of police officers who serve our communities and encourage them to work safely as they pursue their duties. Now therefore be it resolved that the week of May 10th to 14th, 2021 be and hereby is proclaimed Police Week in East Greenbush. The foregoing resolution I'd like to move, and may I please have a second?
I'm happy to second that.
Thank you.
is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
yes,
Resolution 85 of 2021 is a resolution proclaiming April 2021 Child Abuse Prevention Month in East Greenbush. I know we have a long agenda, but this one's important. So whereas every child has the right to a safe, secure, and supportive environment free from abuse and neglect, and whereas child abuse is considered to be one of our nation's most serious public health problems, with studies documenting the link between the abuse and neglect of children and a wide range of medical, emotional, psychological, and behavioral disorders. And whereas child abuse prevention creates more compassionate society, one which places a high value on the welfare of children. And whereas creating communities where families can access an array of support and resources to address the social, emotional, and physical health of their children is the best way to combat child abuse. And whereas keeping children safe from abuse means playing an active role in their lives, having check-ins and teaching them the warning signs of abuse and how to protect themselves. Whereas effective child abuse prevention programs succeed because of partnerships between families, social service agencies, schools, faith communities, civic organizations, law enforcement agencies, and the business community. And whereas displaying a pinwheel during the month of April will serve as a positive reminder that together we can prevent child abuse and neglect, and by doing so, keep children safe. Now therefore be it resolved, April 2021 be and here same hereby is proclaimed Child Abuse Prevention Month. I move this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
Bridget,
Yes.
you're up.
Yes.
You have a resolution 86 to move.
Oh, sorry. I thought you were looking for me to vote again. Resolution 86, 20 of 21. A resolution in support of raising the awareness of, and I always mispronounce this, I'm sorry, sardosius, and declaring
Sarcoidosis.
April, thank you, Jack, Awareness
sorry.
Month in the town of East Greenbush. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I will second that.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Well, for me, this is for my friend Rebecca.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Resolution 87 of 2021 is a resolution to purchase a supply of duty ammunition for the East Greenbush Police Department for the year 2022. I move this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
Resolution 88-2021 is a resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign the 2021 handicap parking agreement with Rensselaer County. I'd like to move the adoption of this reso. Do I have a second?
I will second that.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 89 of 2021, a resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign the 2021 Stop DWI enforcement agreement with Rensselaer County. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I will second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
I suspect I'm going to see the chief in the morning.
Hmm.
So, somebody
I just
told her.
find it
Somebody
sad that
told her.
we still have to do this.
Yeah.
I had two friends who were killed in 1986 from a DWI crash, and that we still have this, are still having this conversation this many years later.
True enough.
Agree.
Mm-hmm.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
Resolution 90 of 2021 is a resolution to settle a tax certiary case with 4 Mannix Road Properties LLC. With the adoption of this reso, do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you, sir.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
Resolution 91 of 2021. It's a resolution adopting local law number 3 of 2021 to provide for certain amendments relating to the senior citizen real property tax exemption in the town of East Greenbush. I move the adoption of this reso. Do I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Counselor Matters and Dave Grunberg. for their work on this. This is good stuff. It's the kind of thing that, you know, if you're not really vigilant, you could miss, and it's the right thing. So thank you, Rick. Thanks, Dave. Good job on this.
Yeah.
And double thanks to Dave for his translation of, you know, what his, you know, will going forward be our new codified town code, because right now we're having to work within, you know, the kind of the current, I don't want to say antiquated, well, I guess it is somewhat antiquated town code, and it makes, you know, the work that we do a little more challenging, but, you know, you also become more familiar with, you know, your town code that way too. So, but thank you, Dave.
Yeah, I just want to say thank you to Counselor Matters and to Dave as well. I mean, these are the types of resolutions and the law that was passed that really, you know, highlight our strengths on our team. You know, we have a good board that looks at different issues and considers them. And thank you for doing that.
Thank you.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes. Resolution 92 of 2021, a resolution authorizing the purchase of a pickup truck for the water department from New York State Office of General Services mini bid. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Resolution 93 of 2021, a resolution to appoint Justin F. DiMartino to the position of laborer in the Department of Public Works. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Great
Supervisor Conway,
vetting. But I was just going to say, great vetting process as always by, you know, our town hall recruiting team, including Lisa Borst. Thank you.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes. Resolution 94 of 2021, a resolution to accept the resignation of Thomas A. White Jr. from the position of Code Enforcement Officer Provisional. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, Tommy's a good man. And he's gone off. His dream is to make his landscaping business work, and he's going to put his heart into that. So we wish him well. We thank him for his collegiality. Very easy guy to work with. So good luck.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Resolution 95 of 2021 is a resolution to authorize the paving and surface treatment of town highways. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I will second that.
is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, this is a complicated resolution. The easy part is the roads and people understanding what we're doing and where we're doing it. But what we've done here is we've tried to get as much money into the paving budget as we can. In this case, we're looking at $55,000 worth of fund balance. We would put in here all kinds of different ways, mechanisms to fund paving. And today, George Phillips and I were talking that there's a chance that this CARES Act, the American Recovery Funds, can be used for paving. And if they can, we're going to do more paving than this, because this is over $658,300 paving budget, which is the highest budget in the history of the town. But we have $4 million worth of paving needs. So this will help us catch up a little bit, but it doesn't solve the problem. And in many ways, the biggest problem the town has is the condition of the roads. And so this is a kind of a muscular approach within our budget constraints, but we're going to try to enhance it even further with some of the the CARES Act money. So, and thanks to Danny and Scott for the way they go about this. They inventory the roads, they grade the roads, and then we go to a plan. And Danny, correct me if I'm wrong, but one of the philosophical changes that Danny's made is that rather he wants to look at entire neighborhoods as an approach, as opposed to just a stray street here and a stray street there. If you bring the entire neighborhood up to the same condition, that's a good thing. Did I get that right, Dan?
Yeah, because, we're basically doing roads that are rated 4s and 5s. So you may have a 6 on one of the roads in that neighborhood, but it's foolish to, skip that as part of the neighborhood when you're going to pave it next year. So.
Yeah. So we think it's the right list, and people whose roads are on it will agree with us, and people whose roads aren't on it will not agree with us.
So just to build upon that and say thank you to Supervisor Conway and to Dan Fiacco and to Scott Gallery for making this explainable, because this is certainly one of the questions that as a board member I get asked most often, to be honest with you, is about the paving and the conditions. And while it's a complicated resolution, you've made a really transparent, easy to explain system. So thank you for that.
Good stuff.
Yeah, I'd like to echo that, definitely. This is such a basic, important service for residents in town. I think in the past there was, not always the most finely tuned, capital planning, especially for this, a long-lived asset like this. But so people were, they're almost a competition in terms of whose road was going to get taken care of next. And I think, the rating system that Commissioner Fiacco has relative to our town roads is, very comprehensive. And, the supervisor's finance team to deal with the priorities that have to be laid out relative to these sorts of improvements. Kudos to you, certainly, in particular, vis-a-vis the juggling of, what outside funding we may take in, which, isn't always recurring. But again, what better asset to be, bolstering, than our town roads. So, thank you, Mr. Supervisor.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes. Resolution 96 of 2021, a resolution approving the aviation insurance, drone insurance general liability policy through Digham and Bain Insurance Agency. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, Megan, correct me if I'm wrong, but this resolution is insuring the pilots, and the next one is insuring the drone itself, right?
Yeah, it's general. This is like the general liability policy for basically the pilots and everything. If we damage any property, it just doesn't cover the unit itself.
Oh, good.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Resolution 97 of 2021 is a resolution adding the drone to our inland marine equipment coverage through NYMER for the 2021 policy year. I'd like to move the adoption of this reso. Do I have a second?
I will second this.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
We continue to develop the versatility of the police department between
Yes.
the K-9 unit and this. These are innovations that the chief has brought to this. In the postmodern world, you have to keep up and you have to adapt policing techniques to the situation you're in, because Lord knows the bad guys keep up with the technology and figure everything out. So, but it's really important to have a versatile police force, and this helps us do that.
Mhm.
Agree.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
yes,
Resolution 98 of 2021 is a resolution authorizing urgent repairs to the Cross Street Pump Station. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
This is the beginning of a very important project. You know, this is going to tell us a lot of what we need to understand to move forward. But this is when we get this project done, this is going to be such an important infrastructural development for the town. And the work of this town government for the next 20, 30, 40 years will be tangibly enhanced by what we do here. This is really good.
Absolutely.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes,
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Matters.
Yes.
Resolution 99 of 2021, resolution to appoint temporary seasonal laborers in the Department of Public Works. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
We have two guys in our Parks Department, Jimmy Hempstead and Dave Williams. You can't touch them. They're the best pair of employees you could ever find. Jimmy Hempstead, if every 8 hours, Jimmy gives you 12 hours of labor. But what this does is it allows, some lawn mowing, and it frees Dave and Jimmy and some other people to do things that they're really good at and we need them to do. But Danny, could you argue with me, or Mike, that these two guys are just amazing?
No, I was actually with them yesterday when we poured the sidewalk. I couldn't stay away from concrete. So Jimmy kind of we were waiting for the concrete truck, and Jimmy was off on his own, and he was raking all the spots out down by the red barn and getting everything ready. So he can't sit still. And
he
this is also part of, the new trail and the increase in maintenance that we need to do. So
Yeah. Mike, you work closely with these guys.
Jimmy and Dave make my life so much easier. They do such a great job down there. I'm glad that Dave stayed with us.
Yeah.
It's a joy having them. And to go off of Danny's point, Jimmy cannot not be working. It bothers him to have to wait for anything. So it's a joy having them.
Yeah, there was one day, I learned this from a secret source. There was one day that on his Fitbit, Jimmy Hempstead got 30,000 steps, so, which for my Fitbit is like 6 months. So he's amazing, and this will give them.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes,
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Matters.
Yes.
Resolution 100 of 2021, a resolution authorizing procurement of a Proteus light camera crawler system for the sewer department and authorizing the use of GEIS funds. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. May I please have a second?
I will second that.
Thanks, Tina.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor
I've
Kennedy?
been waiting.
Sorry, Dan.
Danny,
ahead,
go
Dan.
ahead.
I've been waiting a long time. This is
Yeah.
very dear to me, this resolution, so.
Mhm.
Yeah, and to give Danny his due, this is a guy who's going to know how to use this, how to deploy it.
And Dan, will you be posting these videos on the town website so that we can all enjoy them, or?
I don't know if you're gonna want to see that, but at least we'll have them.
Nothing like pipe video, man.
I trust
Yeah.
Dan's word, it works.
Yeah, me too.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes. Resolution 101 of 2021, a resolution authorizing the replacement of a dump body on truck number 13. I move this resolution. May I have a second, please?
I will second this.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes. Resolution 102 of 2021. It's a resolution authorizing a public auction of a surplus vehicle. I'd like to move the adoption of this reso. May I have a second?
I will second this.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Resolution 103 of 2021, a resolution authorizing the solicitation of bids for a stainless steel dump body for truck number 11. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Bridget?
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Resolution 104 of 2021 is a resolution authorizing the solicitation of bids for a pickup truck for the sewer department. I move this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Resolution 105 of 2021 is a resolution approving the amendment to the Town of East Greenbush cafeteria plan, allowing certain temporary relief for benefit plans under the Continuing Appropriations Act of 2021. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Resolution 106 of 2021 is a resolution authorizing the town to contract with Dude Solutions Incorporated for building department software. I move the adoption of this resolution. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Is
Thank
there any
you.
further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, this is a good step forward. And how can you bet against a company called Dude Solutions?
Counselor Matters?
Yes.
Supervisor Conway?
Yes.
Counselor Tierney?
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy?
Yes.
Counselor Fritz?
Yes.
Resolution 107 of 2021, a resolution enabling Recreation Supervisor Michael Martin to attend the 2021 New York State Parks and Recreation Annual Conference. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes,
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Matters.
Yes.
Resolution 108 of 2021, a resolution to make staff appointments for summer camp. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. These guys are not getting away. We got troublemakers in the house. Caitlyn's with us and Mike and Nick are with us. It's hard to tell they're twins, but if you just look at them from a certain angle, you could tell. I'm only kidding. Is Cameron with us, Mike?
She's not. She had to work tonight.
Oh, and for anyone who doesn't know, Caitlyn is the one who did the design for the new sign at the town park. And it's a beautiful design. People comment on it all the time. Caitlyn, how are you doing tonight? Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good. Just studying and doing homework.
Oh, that's good. That's good to hear. We were a little worried about that. So, but Caitlyn's worked on the camp last year. Mike, how are you doing?
I'm well. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. I'm glad. I'm so appreciative you're coming back.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And Nick, how you doing?
I'm great. This is my first meeting.
Is it? Boy, I wish it was mine. I'm so tired of these Zoom meetings. But in all seriousness, Mike, this is quite a team we put together here, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it absolutely is. And I think it just goes to show, the town of East Greenbush does things right. The previous resolution about that conference, it started yesterday, and today I had the chance to talk about camp last year, and it was a lot of fun to get to kind of brag a little bit about how other towns just kind of closed up shop and gave up. And two of our guys tonight were very instrumental in making sure that we did something right last year. So it's a lot of fun to go and talk to people across the state and get to kind of push how well East Greenbush is doing in parks and recreation, and how important it is to have a good town who cares about that kind of stuff. So yeah.
Good stuff. And Caitlyn Lawyer comes from a family of known troublemakers, so just keep an eye on her because she's kind of rowdy if you didn't notice. So I'll stop picking on them now, but we really appreciate you guys taking this on. These are good people, so we're very happy about this resolution.
I am going to apologize to a couple of you right now because I have already signed my son up, and he is probably going to be one of your troublemakers. So I will apologize in advance.
Oh, poor Brian. He's getting a bad rap. He's no trouble at all.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes,
Resolution 109 of 2021, a resolution to appoint a part-time clerk to our Community and Recreation Department. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yes. Ms. Donna Millett will join us on Monday. That's right, Mike?
Yep.
Monday's the start. And as I said before, she is a 4th degree black belt in Taekwondo, and she teaches pruning classes. So she is awesome. And these young troublemakers better watch out because she's a 4th degree Taekwondo black belt. We're looking forward to having her, especially Mike.
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes,
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Matters.
Yes.
Okay, resolution 110 of 2021. It's schedule a public hearing for the adoption of the town's 2021 annual report for Phase 2 Speedy's general permit for stormwater discharges from municipal separate storm sewer systems, MS4, and GP-0-15-003, which is a permit number. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I will second this.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, we have a great MS4 program, and there's not too many places that can say that. And this town has struggled with it for years, but Adam is on the case, and Ricky Williams is now helping out part-time. We have a really strong MS4 program, so good work, Adam.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Matters.
Yes.
Resolution 111 of 2021 is to set a public hearing on the Town Center Plan Development District Major Site Plan. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I will second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, it'll be May 12th in Town Hall at
Right.
6 p.m. So but let
Supervisor
me,
Conway,
wait, let me also say that because that's where we're going to start, I think Tina's point has to be emphasized, because there could be a lot of people who want to comment who, don't want to come out. So, okay, that's it, Ellen. I'm sorry.
okay, that's okay. Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
I have a bit of a typo there, but I'll
I-
get it.
Just thought,
You see it? Resolution 112 of 2021, a resolution appointing Anna Feltham to the position of planner in the Department of Planning and Zoning. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I'm happy to second that.
is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yes, Anna's start date will be June 3rd. She's got to relocate from Wisconsin. I think it's May 3rd. She's coming to town so she can meet everyone. We'll take her out to lunch and show her around, and hope she doesn't head for the hills after she gets the lay of the land. But she's a tough negotiator. We had to pay her a little bit more than we had hoped to pay her. But Adam is so happy. And as you guys saw when you met her, she's going to be a tremendous asset.
Mm-hmm.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Counselor G.
Yes.
Fritz.
You copied and pasted.
No, well, the worst part is that when we copy and paste it, clearly it's begins by saying G. Warner. And usually we catch it, but this time we only caught Fritz, and the G's still there. So I'm sorry, Bridget.
That's okay.
Won't happen again. Resolution 113 of 2021, authorizing the town supervisor to sign contract amendment number 3 with H2M Architects and Engineers to provide additional subsurface investigation services in connection with the 3rd Avenue and Barrack Roads pump station upgrades. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Matters.
Yes.
Resolution 114 of 2021 is a town board request to act as lead agency for the 3rd Avenue and Barracks Road Pump Station Upgrade Project. I move this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
Resolution 115 of 2021, a resolution to schedule a public hearing to receive public input on the draft Gilligan Road Complete Streets Enhancement Feasibility Study. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. May I please have a second?
I will second that.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, this will be held on June 9th, which is the June pre-board meeting at 6 p.m.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
Resolution 116 of 2021 is a resolution authorizing the supervisor to execute a memorandum of understanding with the Capital District Transportation Committee, CDTC, for a community and transportation linkage study for 2020 for the US Route 4 corridor between Mannix Road and New York 43. I move this resolution. May I please have a second?
Counselor Matters,
Rick, are you seconding?
I apologize. When I first glanced at this, I thought Counselor Kennedy was seconding it, so I apologize for that. Yes, by all means, I second. Thank you.
is there any further discussion on this resolution? Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
Resolution 117 of 2021 is a resolution to schedule a public hearing relative to the proposed enactment of an East Greenbush local law that would provide for the establishment, imposition, and collection of monetary charges against property owners whose alarm systems falsely summon emergency services within the town's corporate limits. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. Do I have a second?
I will second this.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution? Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
Resolution 118 of 2021 is a resolution authorizing the supervisor to sign the 2021 Stop DWI Enforcement Crackdown Agreement with Rensselaer County. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I will second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, if you're going to drive drunk in East Greenbush, you're going to get caught. That's all I have to say. You will be caught. So don't do it.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes. Resolution 119 of 2021, a resolution to appoint Ellen Schwab to the Board of Ethics. I move this resolution. May I have a second?
I will second that.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, I have a confession to make here. Roger Johnson, who's the chair of the Board of Ethics, raised the issue of terms, whose term ends when. And when we went to do the research, we found that Ellen Schwab's term actually terminated at the end of 2019. So last year she was on the board, she was an active member, but she wasn't formally appointed. So we want to rectify that now. Ellen has graciously agreed to carry on. If you know Ellen, she's perfect for this job. She really is. The woman wouldn't know how to be unfair if her life depended on it. So this is correcting that and appointing her for a term that'll expire on December 31st, 2023. So yay,
Yeah,
Ellen.
Ellen really does a great job on that board.
Yeah, she's the best.
Yeah, I just have to echo that. I mean, you know, Ellen is just incredible in the assessor's office, as we all know. And, you know, I don't think we could really make a better appointment, you know, to meet the town employee requirement, you know, for appointment to the Board of Ethics. This is just great.
Yeah.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Matters.
Yes.
Resolution 120 of 2021, a resolution to appoint Caitlyn Culberson to the Board of Assessment Review. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
Thank you.
Is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Just a quick comment that is certainly not a personal comment against this applicant, Ms. Culberson. I never met her. I'm sure she's lovely. I have some unanswered questions about, you know, the potential for a conflict of interest. So because I haven't met her and don't want to judge, I'm going to abstain from this vote.
Yeah, I have to echo that. Only, you know, I want to thank Councilor Kennedy for shepherding this recruitment. And although I need to abstain because I haven't had the chance to interview Caitlyn, I know she'll do very well, and I thank her certainly for stepping up.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz,
Yes.
Resolution 121 of 2021, a resolution to appoint Jeannie Couture to the position of Secretary of the Board of Assessment Review. I'd like to move the adoption of this resolution. May I please have a second?
I'll second that.
is there any further discussion on this resolution?
Yeah, again, I'd love to really want to thank Councilor Kennedy for, you know, shepherding the recruitment here, because, you know, these positions are not, as we all know, are not easily filled. They're heavy lifts in a very short period of time for grievance day, and which can sometimes extend out further. You know, so I just and I really think it's, you know, anyone who does step up, such as Jeannie in this case, you know, for this kind of duty is to be commended. So.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
Okay, before I move to adjourn, do any of the counselors have any remarks they want to finish with?
Yeah, I really want to apologize to our town clerk regarding Reso 116. When I kind of missed my cue for seconding that, that was in no way, that's totally on me. I apologize, notwithstanding, you know, my missing my cue. That was totally on me. So Ellen, that you are just an incredible town clerk, and you know, I just want to just kind of make that clear. That was that's all my fault. I'm not always the brightest bulb with things like this and other things. So, but kudos to you, and you know, keep up the great work.
Thanks, Counselor Matters, but no worries.
Ellen, are there any college baseball teams you'd like to update us on?
Oh, Brockport's making even some national recognition for D3.
Come on, give us the details.
They're winning by a lot. I'm sure many other teams wish there was a mercy rule in college, and there's not. I mean, they're winning 15-2, 17-2, 23-4 the other day. So they're very fortunate. It's a veteran team. So next year is going to be different, but they're They're going for a ride this year, and it's been awesome. And the guys are just, my son included, it's been a long haul since high school, since he was a senior. With being able to play ball. So they're having a stellar season so far.
Okay, just wanted to get that in there. We know
Thank
who
you.
the most important player on that team is. So, okay, with that, I'll make a motion to adjourn. May I have a second?
I will second that.
Supervisor Conway,
Yes.
Counselor Kennedy,
Yes.
Counselor Tierney,
Yes.
Counselor Matters,
Yes.
Counselor Fritz.
Yes.
Okay, that was a long one. A lot of
It was.
resolutions.
A lot of business.
A lot of business tonight. Thank
Yep.
you, guys.
Good night, everyone.